Hi, everyone. Nice to see everyone. I'm Aidas, and I'm with Lamarisk. At Lamarisk, we manage, analyze, and mitigate risks for the top leading DeFi protocols like Aave, Curve, Ethena. And today in particular, I'd like to talk about securing the stability of a Delta-hedged synthetic protocol. In this case, we'll take Athena and USDE as a case study, which means that um, this is a particular topic, but it will be extended to other and can be extended to other protocols as well, such as, for example, we've just seen Resolve, and this is also applicable to such a protocol. So why is it even important to talk about that? The thing is, we've recently seen DeFi getting more and more dependent on off-chain and on-chain operational layers, which means that there's an increasing centralization, and there's a single point of failure which remains in DeFi, and so it can really greatly affect the not only the stability of a protocol itself, but also the stability of a broader market. So, how do these operational layers look like? We have, if we take Athena, for example, we have firstly the collateral management, which basically means that a protocol has certain backing, and then these backing assets they need to be managed in a dynamic way. Not only these assets, but also the hedging positions, they also need to be managed in a dynamic way. You have hedging venues, which is operations that happen on centralized exchanges, which need to be distributed in a balanced way. And also, talking about the on-chain perspective, you have redemptions. The stablecoin experiences redemption, so you always need to keep a liquid buffer, which can be invoked on demand and serve the redemption requests. Now, how does the let's firstly talk about what are the pitfalls. There are many things that can go wrong in this whole operational architecture. Firstly, if we talk about the collateral management, there's a kind of a problem where if you use different assets for backing your own asset, you become dependent on these assets too. So this is very relevant in terms of setting the right expectations, the right liquidity, and the right stability expectations for these underlying assets too. The next thing is you have hedging venues, and so in hedging venues you have the perpetual funding rates, which is the whole base layer of how Athena operates. And so if you have a stressful market conditions, you can see funding rates turn negative pretty fast. That means you need to be fast to deallocate or close exit the perpetual positions and offload your exposure. Also, you have centralized exchanges, which are also prone to failures, right? You can, like, for example, we've seen Bybit incident earlier this year where we had a big failure, which also could have affected Athena, although it was managed quickly and then the whole risk was resolved. So all of that kind of encompasses the need to keep some kind of a stable buffer too, not to be exposed too much. And in all of that is kind of engulfed in an idea that these risks, they should be covered by something. And so in this case, what Lamoresk does and how Athena operates is the protocol has a reserve fund, which is managed by taking a quantitative approach where we simulate the different short-term and long-term drawdown scenarios. to be able to quantify how much of an insurance or a reserve does a protocol need so that the stablecoin is always over collateralized. And in case of problems that cannot be predicted sometimes, can also be covered by that. So more broadly, our role is to define rules and thresholds so that the reserve fund does not need to be invoked, but also that means everything that we do needs to be aligned with changing market conditions. So, for example, if you have negative funding rates, you need to recommend that Athena moves the stablecoin buffer, increases it so that there's less stress and less drawdown possibilities. Now, the third principle is we need to provide quantified recommendations. As I said before, there's scenarios to be simulated and outcomes to be presented, and this results in our multi-vertical risk management strategy, where on one hand you have operational rules, on the other hand you have direct coverage, which helps to protect protect the stability and also mitigate the dependency risks. Now, a final thing that I want to mention is that all of these, since the protocol is off chain, all of these things they also depend on how you can prove that the protocol does what it's supposed to do, because most of the positions, as I said, they're in centralized exchanges. How do you prove it to the end user? How do you prove it to the DeFi user? What we do with Athena, and one thing that Athena did is they provided a possibility to periodically connect to their position management layer to inspect what they're doing, whether they are over collateralized, whether they're doing everything according to the rules we set. And so we, as a third-party verifier, we can cryptographically verify and attest that what Athena reports is accurate and that the stablecoin is actually backed as it's supposed to be. And we in Lamoresk believe that these kinds of risks and these kinds of risk management needs are going to become even more needed in the future, as we've seen a lot of growth in stable coins over the past year, mainly also driven by the RWA assets, which contain almost the same risk assumptions as I discussed here. So thanks a lot, everyone. I'm happy to bring the discussion off stage.